Maria, Pedro, Juan, John, Patrick, and Mohammed, okay, talking as workers about being family members, about fighting for justice, about fighting for a better future, about fighting for, you know, a redistribution of wealth questions, right? In a way in which other people could say, ah, that's what the union is. Now this guy is this process, okay? So we do our communications very differently. Workers speak. And leadership supports. Workers talk about why we do the things we do, not about money. Yeah, money obviously helps us, but there's a bigger implication in what we do. And the connection between the unions and the social movement then became closer, because we were fighting for the same things, okay? I'm not an idealistic person only. I also understand reality, in which there are a lot of tensions, because we might not represent everything at the same time. But in the United States, this particular type of campaign created a precedent. Yeah? And other unions were like, shh. Undocumented immigrants are able to win. Oh, because we won. We won a lot. Huh? We won, we won, we won, we won. We had density, we had density, we had density. We were kicking the owner's butt up and down the road, right? And of course, the rest of the labor movement were like, they're growing, they're winning, and they're undocumented migrants. Like, and we over here, like, what the fuck? Like, if they can do it, we should be able to do it. What are they doing? Let's look at this. Let's take it apart. Let's figure it out. So this campaign in particular was the precedent that we needed for labor to start thinking about the possibility of change, okay, and about actually transforming ourselves. And it's important where it comes from, because it came from real struggle. It didn't come from a head and a design in a room. It came from the practice of people doing it a lot and then taking the best practices forward, okay? So I'm gonna finish there and then we can go deeper. But I think what is interesting about my job now is that other unions in the world are asking my union, can you please come over and show us what those janitors did? In what way? So we can think about what is transferable and what is set. Okay? And to think about how we're going to transform ourselves. Of course, that sounds easier than it actually is. And so I spend a lot of time with these unions, in a way, discussing, right? Mapping out where are you at? What is your power? What is your weakness? How many members do you have? How many leadership do you have? How many packets of powers do you have? And what don't you have? Where is your weaknesses? What is missing here? What is your density? How do you work with others? How do you work with the workers? All right? And asking the right questions so the unions can come up with their own answers, hopefully with a much informed reference and precedent that we hope to share with everybody. Okay? So that's the history of the United States. Right now, in the United States, we're the biggest union in the United States. We're about 2 million people. Oh, sorry, it's Service Employees International Union, SCIU. That's where I come from, right? And now I work for Change to Win. So these methods are also being done by other unions in the United States, okay? But in our case, we were able to grow 1 million members in 10 years, okay? So our union grew while all the unions were dying, okay? My union is not perfect. I mean, we have our own issues, of course. But I think in terms of the practice and the investment and the will to change, we've done pretty extraordinary things. Not enough, because obviously in America only 10% of the whole population is in a union, which means, and it's a bookend, right? It's like West Coast, East Coast, that's where the union is from, and Chicago, up here, where the auto industry in Detroit. So the union is here, here, and here. And in the middle, and in the South, it's Republican controlled. So we've done a good job, but let's just say we're getting our asses kicked. And there is this impetus to need to organize more and to create a social movement that can actually help us do so. Because workers are the social movement, if we think about it. But we really are not aligning ourselves in a way that is broad enough to be a societal agent of change. And part of the conversation with you today is, how do we work with you? How do we work with each other to be able to actually connect these fights in the most actually effective and productive ways, understanding we're all different, but understanding we all bring a particular power to the table, and if we're able to articulate ourselves better, we can actually fight capitalism in its own home. Maybe not transform it completely yet. I mean, let's be honest, but unions are in such a defensive mode that right now we just have to protect the little we got and actually redistribute wealth again, for example. Right? I mean, our fights have to be done in steps. And politically speaking, you know, we need to be flexible around those things. Both the unions themselves that have created this problem. This is their responsibility as well. But that they're willing to change, and these packets of them are willing to change. And the question is, are we going to be there to help them do so? Right? Not because of the union, but because the workers are the ones that are actually trying to make that transformation. So that's the American discussion.
Ja, danke, Valery. Genau, da kann Ben, denke ich, gleich dran anschließen. Ich würde dich gerne zu zwei Themenkomplexen fragen. Zum einen das, was Valery angesprochen hat, Organizing als wirklich eine grundsätzliche Erneuerung von Gewerkschaften. Sie hat die Stellvertreterpolitik erwähnt, also dass immer nur ein Gewerkschafter diese ganzen verschiedenen Probleme lösen soll, stellvertretend für die Beschäftigten. Und das trifft ja vieles. Die deutschen Gewerkschaften funktionieren ja tatsächlich ähnlich. In Deutschland sind Arbeitnehmerinnenrechte viel stärker verankert. Die Gewerkschaften müssen nicht erst kämpfen, um in den Betrieb zu dürfen. Aber das Verhältnis zwischen Arbeitgebern und Arbeitnehmern ist stark verregelt und deswegen auch ein bisschen weniger, werden die Konflikte abgefedert. Insofern die Frage an dich, Ben, wie du das in Deutschland einschätzt, ob dieser Organizing-Ansatz in Deutschland überhaupt anzuwenden ist oder wie sich die Gewerkschaften in Deutschland da verändern müssen. Und zum anderen, also das Konkrete oder also stärker die Methode, die Valery angesprochen hat, die sie als offen bezeichnet hat. Du hast bei der IGWAU ein Projekt gemacht, wo ihr Organizing angewendet habt und auch versucht habt, das auf die deutschen Verhältnisse und auf die Verhältnisse von euch in der IGWAU anzuwenden. Und vielleicht kannst du dann sagen, was ihr für Ergebnisse habt und wie Organizing in deiner Gewerkschaft funktioniert.
Ja, zum einen, Organizing funktioniert auch in Deutschland, so, ne, man muss es nur wollen. Das ist das erste Ding. Also Valery hat es ziemlich gut gesagt. Ja. Also es ist einfach, Gewerkschaften ist einfach so ein träger Haufen, ja, der einfach, typisch, wenn ich in irgendeine Gewerkschaftsversammlung reingehe, da ist es wirklich so. Ich sehe 50-jährige Leute, die weiß sind, wahrscheinlich schon Rentner und darüber diskutieren, wie früher alles besser war. Da tut sich sehr, sehr viel. Das tut sich auf ehrenamtlicher Seite viel zu wenig, aber es tut sich was. Ja. Und auf hauptamtlicher Seite auch. Also als ich angefangen habe, mich in eine Gewerkschaft zu engagieren als Ehrenamtlicher, da war es echt noch so, dass die Hauptamtlichen durch die Gegend gerannt sind und sich ausgerechnet haben, wie viele Mitgliedsscheine sie im Monat machen müssen, damit sie in einem guten Schnitt sind. So, ja. Das sagt schon mal ein bisschen was darüber aus, was so die Beweggründe waren, warum man auf die Straße gegangen ist. Nicht so wirklich, um die Interessen der Leute irgendwie aufzunehmen und zu gucken, wie kann man da was verändern, sondern einfach nur zu sagen, hey Scheiße, es ist jetzt schon der 15. und ich habe noch 20 Scheine zu machen, wo gehe ich denn jetzt am besten hin, dass ich das auch wirklich hinkriege. So. Da hat zumindest, also ich kann für die IG Bau sprechen, von allen anderen Gewerkschaften hoffe ich auch, dass es der Fall ist, kann ich aber nicht sprechen, hat ein starkes Umdenken stattgefunden. Das ist noch nicht überall angekommen, auch immer noch gibt es Leute, die sagen, wir müssen noch unbedingt so und so viele Scheine machen. Aber es ist tatsächlich so, dass man anfängt zu sagen, hey, was ist denn unser Problem? Unser Problem ist nicht, dass uns die Mitglieder weglaufen, weil uns sterben die Mitglieder weg, uns laufen sie nicht weg, sondern uns sterben sie weg. So.